You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. And be sure to smash that like button. Earlier this week, while we were at SEC Football Media Days, Brian Kelly, Blake Baker, Corey Raymond, and the LSU Tigers got themselves some magnificent news when five-star cornerback, the number one cornerback in America, DJ Pickett, made his college announcement.
With that being said, for the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be taking my talents to the University of Louisiana State University.
Yeah, wow. LSU.
So DJ Pickett picks LSU, and one of the things that he was asked about, I believe that was by Jamie Newberg on set, was why he picked LSU. Give a listen.
I mean, if you're a DB and Coach Raymond is at LSU, I feel like that's the right place to be at. So that's just, that tell you everything right there.
That tells you everything right there. I know there have been a lot of LSU fans since Corey Raymond came back that have questioned that decision. Now, you know good and well where I stand on it if you've listened to the show at all. You don't forget how to coach. You don't forget how to backpedal. You don't forget how to flip your hips and run and all that sort of stuff. Like ball skills, all that. You don't forget any of that. In the same way that Pete Jenkins at 82 is still an elite defensive line coach, technically so is Corey Raymond. And it's pretty clear he's a good relationship builder. Now, I shared this information on Locked on LSU, my podcast, which I would highly or greatly appreciate if you go listen to, subscribe, or watch on YouTube. And I'll share it to you here. I was told DJ Pickett, the NIL offer that he had from LSU was $750,000. Not as much as Oregon offered, but clearly what filled the gap are a couple of things. One, not having to fly across the country. He's from Florida. So for his family to see him, they'd have to fly to the Pacific Northwest to watch him play. Louisiana's a much quicker jaunt. And obviously the relationship with Corey Raymond. At one point during this process, DJ Pickett called his relationship with Corey Raymond unlike any other. His words, not mine. So I know there's a lot of you that questioned the Corey Raymond decision. Had he lost it? I'm going to say again what I said when they brought Corey Raymond back. LSU and the devolving of DBU wasn't because Corey Raymond was lazy or didn't recruit or forgot how to coach or anything of the sort. Let me remind you, in 2019, they signed Derek Stingley, Cardell Flott, Jay Ward, Radarius Jones, Mo Hampton, a lot of really good players. 2020, Ricks and McGlothern were part of that class. 2021, Sage Ryan was a 5-star. You had Demarius McGee. He didn't stop recruiting great defensive backs. Your head coach watched the program disintegrate, got fired. The new head coach didn't retain Corey Raymond, and all those guys left. And since then, you have not even come close to recruiting at the level you did when he was here. If, big if, but if Brian Kelly had retained Corey Raymond, do Elias Ricks and Dwight McGlothern stay? Maybe. And maybe you never go through this 3-year wandering wasteland you've been in the secondary. Look, in 2022, you hit in the transfer portal with Jark Bernard-Converse and Mekhi Gardner and Joe Brooks Greg Brooks and Joe Fouché. You hit on those guys. And then they all left. And you didn't have enough good freshmen coming behind them. So you go back into the portal. And you miss on Denver Harris and Deuce Chestnut, and J.K. Johnson was injured, and Zy Alexander played well until he got injured. Like, you just haven't supplemented in the high school ranks because you were flying to recruit 3 stars from Las Vegas instead of going and getting guys like DJ Pickett. So, I don't know if anybody still got any more questions about Corey Raymond. Hopefully you don't. Because the only way LSU is going to get back to the level they were at so consistently in the secondary for a decade plus is getting players like DJ Pickett on campus. Players like Derek Stingley and Elias Ricks. Players like that who Corey Raymond had funneling through here every single year. And he's starting to do it again. I'll tell you again. In my opinion, the single biggest mistake Brian Kelly made when he got hired, and he made some, and he's worked very hard to correct them, not focusing enough on Louisiana and the recruiting base, letting Greg McMahon walk, the issues you've seen in special teams. But I think nothing has contributed more to the issues LSU's had defensively over the last couple of years than your issues in the secondary. And they all stem from not retaining Corey Raymond. By the way, did you notice Robert Steeples got a new job? Did you notice that? So Brian Kelly didn't retain Corey Raymond, hired Robert Steeples. Remember, Robert Steeples, who was a high school coach for 4 years, spent 1 year as a special teams assistant with the Minnesota Vikings, and his first collegiate job was the cornerbacks coaching job at LSU. That's who Brian Kelly hired, replaced Corey Raymond with. By the way, Robert Steeples hadn't been picked up by anybody yet. We learned over the weekend he's an offensive analyst now at Iowa State. If you look, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, but if you look at a career arc and it says high school and 1 year NFL special teams assistant, LSU cornerbacks coach, Iowa State offensive analyst, what's the outlier? It was Brian Kelly's biggest mistake when he got hired, was not retaining Corey Raymond. And the more we go through this process and LSU keeps building this secondary class, the more evident that's going to become. Now, Jabari Antoine's going to make his announcement on Saturday, and a lot of people are anticipating that's going to be Miami. That's a kid from New Iberia, Westgate, who was an LSU commitment, who decommitted. There have been some thoughts it would be Oregon. A lot of people are thinking that at this point that it's going to be Miami. For Jabari Antoine, we'll see. He's the number 87 player nationally. He's the 9th best cornerback, the number 2 player in the state of Louisiana. Yes, you would love to get Jabari Antoine. And maybe on Saturday we find out that LSU pulls off another shocker and they get him in the class. We'll see how that goes. But even if it's not Antoine, you've got Jim Coyley out of Nashville. That's an LSU lean. Jonah Williams, who's the number 1 safety in America, that's trending toward LSU now as a 2-sport baseball and football guy. The point is, you are now in the mix for and have committed guys in the secondary that you have not had for the previous 2 years. And the very obvious tie that binds is Corey Raymond. So yes, everyone who poo-pooed bringing back Corey Raymond, it's a tough day for you. And you can sit here and say, well, I'm glad to be wrong. I'm sure you are. But it's a weak sauce mindset from the beginning. To be so overtly negative and to say, well, I hope I'm wrong. Well, of course you do. You protect yourself emotionally. But either way, get on board because you got the right guy. He was always the right guy. He remains the right guy. And he should be here for as long as he wants to be. So, DJ Pickett is an LSU Tiger. We'll find out about Jabari Antoine on Saturday. Derek Meadows, the 5-star wide receiver out of Las Vegas, at least 24/7 Sports has him as a 5-star, the number 32 player in the country. He's set to announce on Saturday as well, and it's going to be LSU or Notre Dame, and most industry experts think it's going to be LSU, but we'll find out on Saturday if it's a really, really good day for Brian Kelly in the 2025 class. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.